Thank you for sacrificing. Thank you for the sacrifices you made for our country. Thank you for giving our country freedom. You are really brave. I appreciate the dedication to this country. Your dedication to this country. Everyone appreciates your dedication. I'm thankful for my freedom, and I know that your work helps to keep us free. We know it has been rough and tiring, but in the end, it has paid off.
Did you know there are 6 different branches of the armed forces?
Let's name them. Repeat after me. Army. Navy. Air Force. Space Force. Marines. Coast Guard.
We are glad veterans from the armed forces could be with us today. Would our honored guests please stand up during our armed forces medley when you hear your special song so we can honor you for the service you have given to our country. The 4th graders will now present the armed forces medley.
Veterans, because of you, we have our freedoms. Our newest veterans, our parents and family members who are serving around the world today. We recognize America as more than 25 million living veterans.
It is our honor to introduce Corporal Billy Pratt. Please welcome Mr. Pratt from the Marine Corps.
All right. Should be good there. All right, thank you. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today we celebrate Veterans Day, a very special day in our country. Every year on November 11th, people all across the United States stop for a moment to say thank you to our veterans. So who am I and why am I speaking here? Well, I'm a Marine Corps veteran, so that qualifies me, but also I'm speaking here because I volunteered, which will go hand in hand with what I'm going to talk about a little bit later. But my name is, like I said, Billy Pratt. My son is William Mack Pratt. He's in the 3rd grade. I'm a United States Marine. I served from October 25th, 2005 to December 24th, 2009. My military occupational specialties were 0351, anti-tank assaultman, and 0916 Marine Corps martial art instructor, brown belt level. I don't know if they have some, they're going to have some up there, some pictures. I deployed to Iraq in 2007 and then to Okinawa in 2008. And some of the reasons why I joined. So I wanted to be part of something meaningful and honorable and to do my part in the fighting that was all over the news at the time. So in 2004, you had the battle in Iraq was raging on pretty good. And you would see the Battle of Fallujah was a major thing, and that was all over the news. And I kept, about every time you turned on the TV, you'd see these battles raging on the news. And it was about enough for me. And at the age of 23, I decided I had to go sign up and go over there and take part myself. So, so who are the veterans? Veterans are brave men and women who have served the armed forces. Like we've mentioned so far, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Space Force. Some veterans have fought in wars, while others worked hard to keep our country safe during times of peace. Some are old, some are young, but we all share something important. We all serve the United States military. And now you might wonder why do we celebrate on November 11th, and how did Veterans Day get its name? So, a long time ago, November 11th was called Armistice Day, and it started after World War I, which ended on November 11th, 1918, when the fighting stopped on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Armistice Day was created in honor of the soldiers who fought in that war and to celebrate peace. But after more time and wars happened, like World War II and the Korean War, people realized we shouldn't just honor one group of soldiers, but all men and women who served our country. So in 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day to honor all American veterans from every branch of the military in both war and peace. So when someone becomes a member of the military, they make a promise, and the promise to protect our country, to help others, and to stand for freedom. And that's a pretty big job. It often means being far away from home, missing holidays, and working in tough and dangerous places. But we did it because we love our country and we care about you. You might have veterans in your own family, maybe a parent, a grandparent, an aunt or uncle, or even a neighbor. And if you do, you can be proud of them. And when you meet a veteran, one of the best things you can do is to simply say, thank you for your service. Those 5 words mean a lot. Veterans Day is also a time for us to remember the values that make our country strong, things like courage, honor, commitment, kindness, teamwork, respect. Veterans show others they can make a difference when we work together and care for one another. So today we take a moment to be thankful for our veterans and our freedom, and for the people who work every day to keep us safe. And part of what it meant to me to be a Marine and a veteran was that a motivated person can do anything, really. And you kind of learn that going to boot camp. I never ran 3 miles before until I went to boot camp, and I ran 3 miles, and I realized the only thing stopping me was me. So being pushed past your limits repeatedly will help instill that mentality to never quit. Also, you can't be afraid to put yourself out there. You have to volunteer yourself. That's another key point, I believe. Not only just for joining the military, but for every reasonable opportunity along the way. The mentality should always be to volunteer. I went to training courses that not everybody got to go to while I was in the Marine Corps because I volunteered to go to them. And because I volunteered for small things along the way, I was viewed favorably and offered more opportunities along the way. So volunteering is, in my mind, an experience at the foundation of it all. So having your own limitations removed from your mind and being given motivation and confidence and not being afraid to put yourself out there and volunteer, like right now. I volunteered to talk. And maybe as you go through your day, you could learn about someone in your family who served. I was learning more about my grandfather just last month. He was a World War II veteran in the Navy. I was learning about some of the areas and the battles he was part of, and it was just extremely interesting to know what our family members have experienced. Or you could just take a quiet moment to think about how lucky we are to live in a country where people are willing to protect and serve others. And just to cover some of these pictures here, that's just a picture from Iraq. Just right as we were getting into Iraq, that top left one, before we were actually doing combat patrols, was kind of in a staging area. And I just found an interesting piece of cardboard, piece of plywood that said camel on it. I thought it was neat. So we got a picture of that. The second one from the top, that is me and my friend Kyle Wellerman, and that is at the top of Mount Suribachi, of all places. So another interesting thing we got to do, they took us up there while we were in Okinawa, which is an extremely historic spot, especially for the Marines. And just the trek alone to get to the top of Mount Suribachi, just no gear, just basically like a water source and maybe a backpack. But it was extremely difficult just to walk up it on the summer day that we were going. And we just, the whole time, kind of reflected on how the Marines took that hill. And they didn't just walk up it. They had machine guns pointing at them the whole way. So it was a big deal to be there, and I was honored to do it. And that's also Okinawa. That's Mount Suribachi, not Mount Suribachi, but that's nearby. It's just a cave where you go in there and find twisted machine guns and debris from the battles that they kind of leave as a memorial there, which is pretty interesting. And then just some of the fun stuff we do at the range. So we got dynamite, which we almost never got to play with. TNT, which was frequent, and some blasting caps. There's a satchel of C4 we're prepping, and that is an AT-4, I believe someone's firing. So pretty fun. So let's just give a big round of applause for all our veterans, past and present, who have given so much for our country. So thank you, and thank you for listening.
Our military families are heroes. Moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, cousins, brothers and sisters, all.
Thank you, veterans, for keeping us safe. We will always remember you.
Our fifth grade thank you song today names all 50 states that our American heroes defend. We hope you enjoy 50 nifty United States.
Our third grade will sing and play instruments to show their appreciation today by performing America for You and Me. Thank you for your service to America, and thank you for joining us today. We honor you today and always.
Thank you, veterans.
Okay, can I get another big round of applause? That was better. All right. All of you performers today, give yourselves a pat on the back for doing a wonderful job. Everybody give an air pat on the back to Mrs. Huber for the hard work she did. All right. So at this time, this is the end of our program. Here's what we're going to do. We want to thank you again for coming. We do have some cookies and water over in the cafeteria. There's also a balloon arch if you want to take a picture with your student, however you're related to them. If you have an adult here, kids, you can go with your, not yet. When your teacher dismisses you, you can go with your adults to go get a cookie and water or to go hang out in the reception area with the adult that came with you. If you provided a note to your teacher because you were going to go with your adult, you're going to leave with them, then you should have brought your book bag down. Anyone who's going home their regular way, which would be anyone who didn't already provide a note, you will head back to your classroom by 2:15. Okay, so that gives plenty of time, more than enough time really, but by 2:15, you need to be back to your class and done with your visiting. If you're going home your regular way, give me a thumbs up if you got all that. Okay, very nice. Let's tell our veterans thank you again for coming. Okay, we also have, if you look over here to my right, you may not have even noticed we've had this cameraman back here. And do you know that you probably have people at home right now that were watching you perform. Some of your parents that aren't here might be there watching you perform right now. So let's wave to everybody in the camera. All right, very good. Okay, hands down. Hey, I want you to look to your teacher for directions. Our veterans and guests, you can wait for your child to come to you, and then you guys can head right around the corner to the cafeteria. Okay?